lot of times, right when we sit down, the four of us will sit down for dinner. You'll say to me, "Oh, no politics tonight," or something like that. And
so I started this, and all of a sudden I'm in Vietnam.
No, and then without question, you're the one who brings up politics. But but I always say to you the same thing, and I mean it, which is, if we never talked politics, there's a million other things for us to talk about, which we always find them anyway.
Amphibians. Amphibians? Cereal? What's your favorite cereal?
Hollywood celebrities, colleagues, and fans reeling from Bob Saget's shocking death at 65 years old, including our next guest, a close friend of Saget's and his guest on that podcast. Here with more on the devastating loss, Rubin Report host Dave Rubin. Good morning to you, Dave.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning. I'm so sorry for the loss of your friend. Tell us about him and how y'all met.
Yeah, Bob really was a great guy, and that clip kind of summed up our relationship. Everyone knows Danny Tanner from Full House, and everybody remembers Bob from America's Funniest Home Videos. But the Bob that I knew, it wasn't that he just wanted to make people laugh. He wanted everybody to be happy. I mean, we would argue about politics because basically I was trying to get him to maybe come a little more to my side. He was sometimes trying to get me to come along to his side. But it was really that he just wanted everybody to be happy. We met. I was doing stand-up a couple of years ago, and his wife, Kelly, was in the audience. Bob was in the other room at the Comedy Store, and she said, "Hey, you might know my boyfriend, Bob Saget. We should all get dinner." And we fast became friends. I was actually on tour in Europe for their wedding, and I flew all the way across the world just for one day back in Cali to go to their wedding. And he was just a great guy. We lost Betty White, of course, a couple weeks ago, who was sort of like America's grandmother, and Bob was sort of like America's dad. And we don't have too many people in Hollywood these days who kind of bring everybody together, and I hope that that's what Bob's legacy will be. That's what I'll try to do with it.
David, it would seem like he had an effect on a lot of people in and out of comedy. One is Pete Davidson, an up-and-coming star at SNL. I was shocked to see the depth of his involvement helping him out, because he had some well-publicized, and he talks about it. He says he has borderline personality. And he said this: when I was younger and several times throughout our friendship, he helped me get through some rough mental health stuff. He stayed on the phone with my mom for hours, trying to help in any way he can, connecting us with doctors and new things we can try. He would check in on me and make sure I was okay. That's fascinating. That's a guy 20 years younger than him, too.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me. I actually didn't know that they had a relationship or that Bob was helping him specifically, but that was the way Bob was. I know Bob helped an awful lot of people. His sister had passed away a few years ago from scleroderma, which is a skin disease, and he raised tons and tons of money for that. He was always helping people. It's sort of cliche when anyone that we all know from television passes away, especially so quickly. We all say these good things about him or her, but I just know he was such a great guy. It's really a sad day. We live in these polarized times. How many people, as I said, kind of bring us all together these days? We need more of that for sure. And by the way, Bob, he didn't love all of the politics of Fox News, but he would be very happy that you guys are doing this tribute to him and that you brought me on to talk about him, because again, he wanted us all to figure out a way through this.
And he was on Fox and Friends a number of times, as you've seen the soundbite montage earlier, Dave. Dave, the thing about Bob Saget is, and you know this, there's the TV version of America's Dad, which is so wholesome and so, just right down the middle of the road. But then there's Bob Saget, who he's got a mouth on him because he's just playing for laughs, and he knows exactly how to do it, and it is hysterical.
Yeah, well, look, I know a ton of comics, and comics love to make people laugh, but I don't know any comic that loved to make people laugh more than Bob. And when you juxtaposed Danny Tanner, as you said, this perfectly clean cut, 80s, 90s sitcom guy who couldn't say something mean, and he was over the top in the cheesiness and all that. And when you juxtapose that with the Bob Saget, the stand-up Bob Saget, who loved to work blue, loved to work dirty, his book Dirty Daddy, he loved, the aristocrats joke that he was famous for. It's like those two things, those were both a piece of him. It wasn't just the guy who was hosting America's Funniest Home Videos to watch people that would get hit with, a golf ball in the crotch. He really just, he was a full guy who, he could do Danny Tanner, he could do the dirty stuff. And as we talked about on my show maybe a year or so ago, he wanted to work to the end. He said, I'll be 90 something and they'll put me on stage and I'll just have a thing in my ear and they can read me the lines. But he loved what he did. He loved what he did.
Yeah, Dave, he was in our living rooms and our dens and our, on TV growing up throughout all of our lives. So we felt like he was America's dad. When you found out about the news, I know you were in a Mexican restaurant. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I was sitting at a Mexican restaurant. I'm here in Florida, too. I'm in the Miami area. Bob obviously was in Orlando. Bob loved tequila. We had a lot of nights with a lot of tequila, and I was sitting at this tequila joint, and everybody, I kid you not, everybody, it was a big bar, probably about 30 people, everybody at the bar and then the restaurant, I started, everyone's phones were lighting up. I heard all these people talking about Bob, and I just went up to this group next to us, about 6 people, and I said, I know Bob, I heard what they were talking about, the aristocrats joke. And we all did some shots, and everybody just told stories and talking about Full House and talking about America's Funniest Home Videos. And that's the tribute that Bob would have loved, that there was, it wasn't just there. I mean, I saw it all over online. And I just want to send some extra love to Bob's wife, Kelly, who's just so wonderful. There she is in that picture. She's just a great gal, and I'll get back to LA hopefully to see her soon.
Dave, 15 seconds. Did he complain about anything, not feeling well or anything like that?
No, I texted with him 2 or 3 days ago. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you guys saw that last Instagram post. He looks like $1 million, and he just did a stand-up show in Orlando, and he was saying how he's ready to be back.
Too.
I'm shocked, guys.
All right. Dave Rubin joining us from Boca Raton. Thank you very much, Dave, for remembering your friend.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys.
All right.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about comedy instead of the nonstop yelling you get everywhere else, check out our comedy playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out our full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.